Hi, in this video I'm basically going to talk about thought patterns, their power over us, some stuff that I've learned about that through the years, and basically how I apply that knowledge to change certain thought patterns in practical ways. My name is Matt Howard, and this is my YouTube channel that I'm kind of trying to work on and build. I did a few just for fun kind of ASMR-ish or portrayal videos at the beginning. I basically am doing sort of mental, emotional teachings or scriptural teachings now. But as far as this video, have you ever just felt like if you could just break one thought pattern or a lot of thought patterns that you just can't shake, your life would be great? You'd be able to have that motivation to accomplish all sorts of things that you've been wanting to do, but it's so frustrating because you're just pinned down under the weight of these things. Or even if it's not about just accomplishing things, maybe you wouldn't feel miserable or anxious or depressed if you weren't compulsively ruminating about certain obsessive things that you just like to break. Well, here's some stuff that I have learned about breaking thought patterns. To sum it up simply, it revolves around basically one principle, and that's just the principle of momentum. You know, what applies in the physical applies in the mental and emotional. So a big heavy truck is moving fast, it slows down slowly, and it's got to stop and be reversed and momentum built and pick back up in the opposite direction if it's going to change directions, or momentum can be redirected. And basically, if you're looking for well, basically, let me just explain this a little more. First, it's just like one little thought leads to another little thought, and then that leads to some more, and finally you kind of get the positive feedback going, and that's the momentum that takes off. A whole flood of the same version of thoughts come in, possibly a whole paradigm of a certain way of thinking. And I'll share with you some practical stuff now that I do to manage this. Like one, it was just the simplest one. Just the simplest one is something I do when working out at the gym when I'm doing flutter kicks. They call them flutter kicks in the military. They usually call them scissor kicks in the civilian world. But I'm sure some of y'all know them, but for those of you who don't, basically what they are is they're a core, they're an ab exercise where you lie on your back, you usually lay on your arms, and you hold your feet 6 inches off the ground, and then you start kicking your legs up and down, trying to hold them straight, and 4 kicks is a rep. And my ab workout, when I'm starting my ab workout, I usually try to get 3 sets of 70. And if I were to just start doing them, I'd quit, and here's why. Here's what it would be like. I'd get just started and I feel like, oh, I'm just started. I've got 70 in front of me. I want to be at 70 and be done. I don't want to be starting. I already don't want to do this and I'm just starting. Oh, now I'm to 10 and I'm already feeling like it sucks so bad after 10 because I've only got 10 down and 60 in front of me. I'm this short, I'm only this far in, just 10 in, and I'm already thinking like this. That makes me feel like quitting. Oh, now I'm only to 15 and I already feel like quitting. If I feel like quitting and I'm thinking these things at just 10 or 15, well, I'm definitely going to quit by the time it's done. Oh, now I'm only to 20 and I'm already thinking that. Well, that means I'm surely going to quit. That means I might as well quit. Heck, I'm thinking I might as well quit at 20. I know I'm going to quit. Might as well just go ahead and do it. And I do. Those thoughts build up in the form of momentum, but here's how I get them all done. and get them done fairly easy without them psyching me or stressing me out too much. I build some thought momentum of my own. I get to 10 and I think, okay, 10, do that again, just what I've done, 10 again, and I'll be to 20. When I'm at 20, I'll be able to say to myself, only 15 more, and I'll be to 35 halfway. And I know it's going to be, 15 more, that's not even as far as I've already been before I'm halfway. If I've got 20 out and just got 15 more to do before I'm 35 halfway, and when I'm at 35 halfway, that'll be great. Why? Because I'll be able to just keep kicking, and however many more kicks I do, I'll be more than halfway, and I'll be able to say, heck, I got this. I don't even have as far as I've already been to go, so I know I got this. And since I feel confident that I've got it, in addition to already being more than halfway, I know I do, and I do it. And when you get to 60, it's the easiest of all, even though physically you're burning the most, you're tiredest at 60. It's physically the hardest, but it's also the least stressful and easiest because you can think, heck, I only have 10 more to do, and I've done 60. So that's just how that momentum will psych me out and stop me on something like that. But if I build some momentum of my own in the opposite direction, I can do it and do it easy. If you're looking for a way that this applies, say in a more elaborate way to your life, well, basically what you want to do is build knowledge. By that I mean take one little grain of knowledge about something, work with it until you have opportunities to gain several more, work with those till you have an opportunity to gain several more from each of those grains of knowledge, and suddenly you're realizing options you didn't realize you had, and you're feeling a lot less helpless. That's kind of abstract, so I can give you a practical example of that. Years ago, I was on kind of a mental treadmill. I couldn't get a full-time job in the civilian world easy not because I was just lazy, but I had never learned what on earth I was doing, basically, was the deal. And here's what was basically like, what was going on. I was trying for this job in EMS since I had been a medic in the Army. I had been to this place and that place and been turned down, and was still trying and didn't know whether I had more options or where to go or what to do, but I kept trying for that. I always needed this little more education, and then I'd be qualified and have it made. Then I found out about this after that, and I kept pursuing it, even though it wasn't working out, because every time I'd think, this is it, I got it made once I got this nailed down, and there would be always another stipulation to it. And I kept pursuing something that wasn't working out. I got fixated on that just one little point of treadmill thoughts and effort. How did I finally break out of that? Another thought problem I had was all I knew about getting other jobs was just to go out just like someone who was basically maybe still 16 and just put in random applications at Burger King. And of course, even that would be better than nothing, but the deal with that is I still just I really didn't want to do that either. Maybe I was a bit proud, but I still, after 4 years of college, some Army Reserves and Rescue Squad, I didn't want to just, being as old as I was, didn't want to just do that either if there's a way to avoid that. So I wasn't just real enthused about trying it, and I didn't consider it as, you know, a possible alternative to what I was doing that wasn't working. But then one day someone told me something. They gave me a certain little grain of knowledge. They told me about the website Indeed.com for jobs, and I thought, hey, there's something I can do, there's something I can look on, and all my confusion, here's a way I can start being proactive. And that opened a lot of other doors. I kept looking for jobs on Indeed.com, and some people had to tell me some things like I needed to be more open, just eat my pride about some of that. I don't want to work this job. I don't want to work something that seems like a 16-year-old would get when I'm really already 31, you know. In some ways I had to accept that and accept things that weren't ideal, but I did manage getting a job in security. It doesn't pay real well. There's great benefits at least, but it's not just kind of, you know, your summertime job for a teenager either. And I've learned some things for that, but kind of back on track to where I was. Here's how momentum applied here. By just simply acquiring that one little grain of knowledge as an option, you know, working on Indeed and how I needed to really work on a lot of jobs there. I needed to just eat my pride and take things that weren't ideal. I started, you know, picking up the momentum of my thoughts and turning it into a more proactive way. Oh, by the way, that job on security I got, I did not get that from Indeed. Someone told me about that one, but Indeed still helped me a lot. The way I'm saying, because it gave me, it turned, you know, the momentum of my thoughts in a proactive direction when it came to getting a job. I didn't have to sit around feeling helpless like there's nothing I could do. I could start, I had a little tool that I could put forth some effort on, and just putting forth some effort and hearing some things about how I needed to quit being so rigid and stopping that, you know, changed my mind into a much more proactive mind, to where just going around, I would ask more questions about jobs, about stuff, about this or that to people I knew. And finally someone ended up telling me about this job, working security, and I tried out for it. I got it, and I've had it for 4 years now. So that's just another example of how, you know, the momentum of thought applies in other situations, and how to redirect it to change thought patterns and to change outcomes and to not feel so trapped by your thoughts. But anyway, I hope this helped. If you got a comment, feedback, thoughts of your own, you're welcome to place them. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe, or I've got some other videos I posted before this one. Feel free to look at my channel and check it out. Anyway, I'll see you next time.